Hey everyone, Adam at Droid Media here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dracast LED 180 bicolor ring light. Now, as many of you know, I am a big fan of Dracast lights. They make really good quality, relatively budget-friendly lights for video producers and filmmakers. Now, they recently sent me this ring light, the one I'm going to be filming the on-camera portions of this video with. And like all of my reviews, all of the thoughts and opinions here are my own, and I am not being compensated or paid in any way to produce this. Now, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you're not familiar, ring lights are kind of a niche product. It's literally a ring of light, and then your camera typically sits in the middle. Now, there are lots of these out on the market, and there are loads of DIY options as well. But why would you need a ring light that goes around your camera? Well, for one, by providing a source of light all the way around your camera, there's not going to be any shadows on your subject. I mean, you can see on my face right now, there's no dramatic shadows or anything. Even if I cover up part of this ring light, you don't get a lot of shadows on my face. And what that does is it gets rid of those shadows and it provides a really nice, even, soft light on your subject, whether it's a human face, a dog face, or a cat face, or some sort of object or subject in your image. In short, if you do portraiture, headshots, vlogs, makeup tutorials, or anything else that involves a lot of face work facing a camera, ring lights are probably something that you're going to want to consider. So let's go ahead and see how the Dracast LED 180 ring light stacks up. The light comes in this large fabric case. It's about 2 feet square and a couple of inches thick. Inside is the light, which seems really large to me. It has a 19-inch diameter, which, with some simple math, means this is pretty much a 60-inch long light. The thing that surprised me about this light compared to pretty much all other Dracast lights I've used is that this thing is entirely plastic. This means that it is incredibly lightweight. It weighs like a pound maybe. It's a pretty looking light overall. It's sleek and black, and the front has this really nice looking frosted plastic piece on it to soften the LEDs inside. There's a shoe mount in the middle so you can mount your camera or phone. And on the back, the controls are really easy to figure out. There's an intensity knob and a color temperature knob, an LED indicator screen, there's power input, and an on-off switch. Also in the bag, you're going to find the power cord, a small cold shoe to quarter 20 mount, and a spring-loaded phone mount. One of my main concerns when I got this light was how much plastic there was. While plastic is not inherently bad, it is not as durable as some other materials, meaning that this light is probably not as durable as some other lights. It would probably hold up for a few bumps or tumbles, but if you're rough on your gear like I tend to be, it might not hold up long term. That being said, the plastic components are all really well made, and the light itself feels good. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic. And I can say after some extended use, it's held up better than I initially anticipated. The LEDs and panel they are attached to are really sleek, and even with the outer diffusion panel off, there is no exposed wiring or anything, just a few screws, and all of this seems really well made. As for the light that comes out of it, Dracast claims this is a 96 plus CRI, which means the light it produces is very high quality as well. I don't own a light meter, but I can tell you from using it quite a bit for a few weeks that the light coming from it seems pretty high quality, and there's no noticeable tint or hue that I've been able to see. This thing is a breeze to use. Pull it out of the bag, plug it in, put it on a light stand, attach your camera or phone, and you're good to go. Now, since this is a bicolor light, you have the option to go from 3200 Kelvin, which you can see I'm doing right now. It really warms me up compared to the daylight balance light and the daylight that is outside. And you can go all the way up to 5600 Kelvin, which I've got right now, which is daylight balance, to match everything else in my house. The rightmost knob on the back allows you to change the color temperature in increments of 100 degrees Kelvin. So 3200, 3300, 3400 degrees Kelvin, and so on, all the way up to 5600. These are denoted with just two numbers, 32, 33, 55, 56, and so on. But the color temperature indicator light has a couple of little zeros next to it, so you'll know what you're doing. The ability to change color temperatures is a great option to have, and the light achieves this by adjusting the intensity of both tungsten and daylight LEDs that are on the panel. When you're at 3200 degrees Kelvin, only the tungsten or warm LEDs are on. And then conversely, when you're at 5600 Kelvin, only the daylight or cool LEDs will be on. As you adjust the color temp one way or the other, each of the light sets will get brighter or dimmer, but this does not affect the overall brightness of the light. The leftmost knob on the back will adjust the intensity of the light. Right now it is at 10%. and it goes all the way up in 1% increments to 100. For this video, I've got it set at 60% intensity, which matches all the other ambient lights I've got behind me. Now, like a lot of other Dracast lights, the 100% is just labeled as 99% on the LED indicator in the back. I'm assuming they just didn't want to put an additional digit in there. Overall, this is a nice, really bright light. Putting it on a light stand is easy. Unscrew the knob, put it on, and screw the knob back in to secure it. You can adjust the angle of the light by loosening the upper knob and then pivoting the light back or forwards. I'm not a big fan of this option though, as I always feel like I'm about to break the adapter. Some sort of rosette or spring-loaded option to maintain rigidity while allowing for some movement would have been nice. Now, this isn't a deal breaker by any means, and honestly, I have not found myself needing to adjust the angle of the light very often, but like with everything, it's plastic and you probably wouldn't want to do it a ton. Attaching your camera is quick work too. Simply screw the included cold shoe to quarter 20 mount onto the bottom of your camera, slip the shoe mount onto the little shoe on the light, and you should be good to go. The included cell phone adapter allows you to easily attach your phone in the exact same way. My only gripe with this part of the entire setup is that it seems hard to get my camera or phone perfectly straight. Again, not a deal breaker, but if I were purchasing this light, I'd be looking at some other options for mounting my camera or phone onto that shoe mount. The cord is nice and long, so you have some flexibility in mounting the light or moving around a little within your own studio. For me, short cords are a big issue with lights. I need a lot of flexibility to move things around, and I can't be stuck only like 4 feet from a wall. And needing an additional extension cord is just one more piece of gear that you have to have in your kit to carry along with you. Having a longer cord like this light does gives you that extra flexibility, and I think it's a big bonus. Overall, the Dracast ring light is really easy and quick to get set up. So who is this light for? Ring lights are very niche lights, and they are certainly not for everyone. If you do any on-camera work, such as make YouTube videos, if you're into vlogging from home, or you do product photography, headshots, or portraits, then this is definitely a light you're going to want to consider. I can't see myself using this on a corporate or commercial shoot or on a narrative piece because it is so specialized, but as a YouTuber and as someone who does a fair amount of product photo and video work, I think this is a great light. Some cons for me are that the light size makes it prohibitive to carry or transport. I would have to carry it in the carrying case, which isn't bad, it's well made, but it's just not as padded as I want everything else to be, and it doesn't fit into any of my other Pelican cases. It currently retails for around $250 US, which is a bit steep for what you get because it is so specialized. Some of the big pros for me though is that it is so easy to set up. It's versatile in the sense that you can adjust the color temp and brightness really quickly depending on where you're filming, and that you don't need a tripod or even a fancy camera to start using it. If you have a light stand and a phone, you can start using this thing the minute you pull it out of the bag. So there you have it, folks. That is my review of the Dracast LED 180 bicolor ring light. Now, if you have any questions about this light whatsoever, leave those in the comment section below. If you've got other questions or gripes about this review, leave those in the comment section below too. I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to link this light in the description below as well, so you can read all the specs on it or order one if you'd like. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you next time.